All right. Hi guys, how are you guys doing? And this is just a revision before your exam. It could be your assessment, it could be your test, it could be your mocks. Okay. So today we'll be doing quadratics. Quadratics. So you can see it here. Now, this section here, everything on this section here, you must have done from IGCSE or GCSE. GCSE. You must have done that. Okay. Now, if you don't know, I'm just going to recap. Now, they said you should complete the square. Now, so the first thing here, so the first one is completing the square. Now, what is completing the square? It must be in the form of a x plus b squared plus c. Or it could be in the form of c plus a x plus b squared. Okay. Now, what do we use completing the square for? Completing the square mainly is to find vertex, or we can use it to find minimum or maximum. That is what we use it for. Now, how do we complete the square? Now, I'm not going to teach you how to complete the square here, but you can actually use your calculator to complete the square. So now, let's say you have fx 991 ex class width. This is the calculator I recommend. The white one. The white one is the best. Now, let's just say you want to complete the square for anything. So you can let's say you have a 2x squared plus 6x plus 13. And you want to complete the square for this. Again, you're doing your exam, you don't need to show your working for completing the square, and you get your 3 marks depending on how the question comes. So when you use your calculator, I'm just using mine here, so I'll just put 2, 6, 13. Maybe I'll make a video on this also. I don't need the roots. I need the x mean and the y mean. It can be max, it depends on how the equation is. Now, for my calculator will give me x is equals to minus 3 by 2. And my calculator gives me y is equals to 17 by 2. Remember, I want to complete the square. Now, what do I do from here? How do I put this in completing the square? So the trick is, whatever number you have here, that will always stay outside the bracket. Then here will be x plus, you change the sign of this. So x plus 3 by 2 squared. This will remain the same, 17 by 2. This is, so my calculator can help me to do this. I don't need to show any working. The only time you should show working is, maybe they try to trick you, and instead of 13 there, so maybe 2, it can be 2x squared plus 6x, maybe plus a. There you have to know the process of completing the square. But generally, for completing the square, you have to make sure the coefficient of x squared is 1. Maybe I will do one question there. But if they don't ask, you can just directly use calculator to do your working. Now, another place they might trick you is maybe they give you 13 minus 3x, then minus 5 x squared. It will not be that difficult. It will not be difficult as this, but I'll just show you. First thing you should do here, you have to rearrange this to be 5x squared plus 3x minus 13. Then you can use calculator for this. You can use calculator. So I'll just use mine now. So my calculator will give me 5, 3 minus 13. So my vertex, remember I'm just my x. So now is minimum, only what is in the bracket. Okay, I will change it later. So my x minimum is minus 3 by 10. My y minimum is minus 269 over 20. Yeah, so that's what I have. Now, how do I change this to completing the square? Remember, I'm only working with what is in the bracket for now. So how do I change this with, so this will be minus, I'll just put a square bracket. So remember, 5 bracket x minus, so this will be plus, you change the sign of this, 3 by 10, then minus, that remains the same, 269 over 20. So this would be minus 5 bracket x plus 3 by 10 plus 269 over 20. Okay? So these are what they always, so remember, this original question is a maximum. So my maximum will be minus 3 by 10 and 269 by 20. Even if you want to put the original one in a calculator, you still get the same thing. Let's say you want to put, so minus 5, minus 3, and 13. The calculator will tell you it's maximum. So 3 by 10, but be very careful. So whenever there's a coefficient, you have to bring it outside the bracket. So this is what completing the square is. So you should not waste time. Your calculator is your best friend. You should not waste time in using calculators for completing the square. So this is the first thing I want to always tell, I want to tell you when you are completing the square. So most calculators can give you the vertex. You just need to manipulate the answer. Then you get whatever they are asking for. Okay? All right. Now, from completing the square, of course, you can sketch, you can find the vertex, you can sketch the graph, then you can put it in. So that's what we have done. Then the second one is discriminant. Now, what is discriminant? So discriminant tells us if a quadratic equation can be solved or not. So it tells us if a quadratic equation can be solved. Now, the wordings are the problem in this kind of questions. So now let's see how we can see some discriminant. So discriminant, for discriminant is mainly b squared minus 4ac. This is mainly discriminant. But there are three types of discriminant. So b squared minus 4ac, when it is less than 0, something happens. B squared minus 4ac, when it is equal to 0, something happens. B squared minus 4ac, when it is greater than 0, something happens. For this, just use a different pen. For this is when we have no real roots. No real roots. Or sometimes, I'll just give you the words that we use. no real roots, or do not meet. Do not meet. So maybe a line and a curve. So maybe a line and a curve, they don't meet. So they don't intersect. This one, equal roots. It could be tangent. A line and a curve is a tangent, so they meet in one place. And it could be one point of intersection. One point of intersection. One point of intersection. So when a line and a curve, they only intersect at one point. So it could be a tangent. Remember, a tangent is a line that touches a curve at one point. This one, it could be two places. So 2 points of intersection. It could be 2 points of intersection. It could be two distinct roots. And distinct roots. It could be any of this. So for this, a line and a curve meet at one point. This one, 2 points. So they will give you two equations. So you should watch out for those terms. So mainly they will be in terms of x, maybe y is equals to 2x plus c, then another quadratic equation, then you have to solve them. Then you get your values. And again, for this, your calculator can help you. Use your calculators to solve inequalities. So I will do one session for calculator tips. If you need it, just write in the comment section so that I will know. So you can use your calculator to do a lot of things. To solve quadratic, to solve um, um, inequalities, quadratic inequalities. You can use it to solve higher powers of quadratic, but you have to show you're working. Again, calculator is telling you the answer. You need to be smart to use your calculator to know how to manipulate and get your answer. Okay? Then the next thing we are going to see is solve quadratic equations and quadratic inequalities in one unknown. I think you did this also in GCSE or IGCSE. So quadratic inequalities, please use your calculator. Please use your calculator. Your calculator can tell you the answer. Maybe I have two. Let's see if I can. Let's say I have, let's see, 2 minus 6 minus 9. Yeah. So let's say you can use your calculator. So the calculator has inequality signs. Use your calculator for that. Okay. Discriminant, you cannot directly use your calculator except you get to the last part. Okay. Then the next one is solve quadratic and simultaneous equation. This you also did in GCSE. So you have one linear and one quadratic. You just need to use substitution. Only substitution you can use to solve that. Then you get your answer. Now let's see. So I'm just looking at these. Remember, this is a crash course on quadratics. So I'm coming for others. All right. So like I said, you can use your calculator for this 100%. Okay. Now let me see how we can solve quadratic by factorization. Let's see how we can solve quadratic by factorization. Let's say I have, let me see if I can give one to factorize 3 minus, let's see, I want to go backward, 3x minus 1 and x plus 6. So if I expand this, I get 3x squared, then plus 18x minus x minus 6. So that will give me 3, 18, that's 17, minus 6. Okay. Now, in exam, you will be told, again, whatever you have done in your GCSE or IGCSE, you don't need to show most of the working. So let's say you're given 3x squared plus 17x. You solve to a point and you got this to solve, to get the answer. You can use quadratic formula. If you want to use quadratic formula, just put the values in your calculator in the formula A and just use your calculator to get the answer. But if you know, first you should always check with the calculator if it is factorizable. When you solve this with the calculator, your calculator will give you, I'll just remove this. Your calculator is going to give you x is equal to minus 6 and x is equal to 1 by 3. If you directly just write this, you lose 1 mark. So you should be smart. You can leave a space. So what you should do x plus 6 and this cross multiply and bring the 1. So that will be 3x minus 1. Then you can directly write this. This is 1 mark in exam. So you can directly write this. You cannot directly write that. So these are just some tips. So calculator is, you have to understand the calculator, then you be smart about it. If it was not factorizable, just put the values of A, which is 3, B, 17, C is minus 6 in the quadratic formula only, then just use your calculator to get the answer. So that is one thing you should know. So don't waste too much time. They will not give you marks for finding the factors. That's waste of time. That you can do even in IGCSE, it's not even needed. Alright, so you can try and solve these ones. So this is just making x or y the subject. Then you can get your answer. Then recognize. So I'm going to try and solve these ones here so that you see what they mean. I believe you must have solved it. But just so this is just so whenever you see anything to the power of anything greater than 2, it means you have to use U substitution. So this is mainly U substitution. So x to the power of 4 minus 5x plus 4. Let's see that. X to the power of 4. So x to the power of 4 minus 5x squared plus minus 5x squared plus 4 plus 4. Okay. So again, once the power is bigger than 2, you have to use U substitution. And how do you know? Always make U the lowest power. So U should be x squared here. So that will make me, so U squared will be x4 if I square both sides. So that will be U squared minus 5U plus 4 equal to 0. Again, calculator is your best friend. Don't think too much. If you're smart, I know, but if you're smart, you just put 1 minus 5, 4. So the calculator will give you 1 and 4. You can come here U. Again, this is what you should do. So U is 1 and U is 4. So you can come and write U minus 1, U minus 4 equal to 0. Done. Then we need to find x, remember. So 1 is equal to x squared. So that's one answer. and 4 is equals to x squared. So I have plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2. So these are my answers. These are my answers. So don't forget, whenever you take square root, you put plus or minus. So that is my answer. Now let's see what we can do from, so 6x plus root x minus 1. 6x plus root x minus 1. So 6x plus root x minus 1 equals to 0. I'll just check again so that we don't run into problem. 6x, yes. Okay, like I told you, make u the lowest power. Remember, the lowest power here is x to the power of half minus 1 equals to 0. So u is x to the power of 1 by 2. So that gives me u squared is equals to x. So this will be 6u squared plus u minus 1 equals to 0. Like you said, your calculator is your best friend. So 6, 1, minus 1. Again, your calculator gives you minus 1 by 2 and u 1 by 3. If you directly write this, you lose 1 mark. So this will be 2u plus 1, 3u minus 1 equals to 0. Cross multiply, move the 1. Cross multiply, move the 1. That will give, so this is 1 mark in the exam. This one is 1 mark. So done. Then from here, we can directly find what we want. So now let's see. So we can get x now. So we're trying to find x. So minus 1 by 2 is equals to x to the power of 1 by 2. And 1 by 3 is equals to x to the power of 1 by 2. So this is what we have now. So from here, remember, I need to find x. So I square both sides. This will be 1 by 4 equal to x. This is x equals to 1 by 9. So these are my answers. So I believe this is just a summary of what you need to know. Calculator is your best friend. Calculator is your best friend. So this is what we've done, just to give you an idea, summarize what you can do with your calculator and what quadratic is all about. This is just to give you a rough idea. So if you have any question on calculator tips, I'll make a video so that you can see how we can use it. But generally, don't waste too much time in solving quadratic. Only what you need to do is to simplify it till that stage, then done. Alright guys, take care of yourself and see you.